I'm going to do something that I haven't done in quite a while, and that's just a video check-in on our Facebook and YouTube page. So, coming at you here, January 2026, took a good bit of the month of December off at home, worked on a couple of projects, but really stayed like more off the grid. So coming back into the new year, we are on the 12th of the month, and the first week was just getting my legs back under me, catching up with the team, doing all of those things. And then I immediately left the following week, which was this past week that we just finished, on a deployment out to pretty much the Pacific Northwest, but northern and central northern Washington state. So north and northeast of Seattle had some just torrential rains and storms and flooded a lot of areas along some of the rivers, including the Skagit River and a couple of others that feed off of the bigger rivers there. So it's an area that floods quite often, but this was a little more than usual. There had a lot of people there that we know people with unable to get flood insurance, really struggling to get by anyway. I work with a nonprofit called USDR. I volunteer my time, my expertise. I act as their logistics coordinator, but I also go out and do outreach in the neighborhoods and the communities. And we go out and just go door to door where we can. We connect with local organizations, local community leadership, and other leaders, even some of them without titles, what we call as PIs. Peripheral impacted. Those are the people that did not take a flood, did not have a fire, did not have a hurricane hit their house, but they are struggling nonetheless just because of the environmental, how much pressure it puts onto things. But what we've found is those people, the PIs, will often step up into a service role because they are aware of how fortunate they were to not have had a direct hit, and their neighbors and their friends and their family in their communities are struggling. So we connect with a lot of these different kinds of groups and just try to lend resources. But what we really do, and why I think that I love to do it, and I think that our industry should be more involved with this in the coming years, and I hope to provide some opportunity, is we do fire, water, and mold restoration in homes from either emergency or non-emergency, and it's devastating at that time for people. But what we don't stick around for, and what we don't see, is the long-term, what we call disaster trauma. It's actually a legitimate, clinically identified illness, which is trauma, and that is just the after effects of having, depending on magnitude, bankruptcy, divorce, depression, anxiety, kids that, whenever people have to evacuate or even relocate, it really does a number on people. From kids sometimes don't finish school because they're out of their social circles. Families go through just challenges with money, alcoholism, drugs. And we have a doctor and a lot of therapists on staff that help with resources, things that we can hand out, as well as finding resources to stay in touch and help them connect them with other places and groups and things that can provide them with relief from that, or just help them get through it. Maybe not even relief, but understanding that they're not alone and what to expect. It's much easier to know that this is going to be a long-term issue. From you may get your house back, but you may never get your life back. And it helps people to know that that's what's happening, not to be under the delusion that things are going to be okay as soon as I get my keys back to my house. So we go out to several places. I was fortunate to meet up with this organization, and all they work on are disasters. I met up with them last year, and this is my third deployment, and I'm now getting to where I'm training other volunteers. And so that's really good work. So that's been the kickoff of the year, and I haven't really done any too much marketing and telling everybody what the incredible things that we've got going on. And that's what I want to share with you today, if you're going to stick around for the video. And the reason I want you to know, I don't really just need you to know what we're doing because it's cool. What I want you to do is know what we're doing because it might actually help you or someone else certainly this industry. It helps them, it helps everyone with their business, whether, a restoration company, whatever that might be. So, one thing that we did at the end of last year, and we had a press release come out. Maybe you didn't see it. I'm going to put everything down in the description here. We've made a national partnership for education, live in-person classes with Aramco. So we have partnered with Aramco with a mutual alignment in wanting to see the industry do well. They want to see their customers thrive and survive and grow so that they can obviously provide more goods and products and chemicals and equipment. But they also want to be seen in the industry as someone who contributes in people's success in other ways. And so, they want to see whether you buy more materials or products or not, they want to see this industry grow and thrive. So we have use now. We've got a pilot set up. We got a pilot group of classes that we're starting at the end of January 2026 throughout Texas and Arizona and Phoenix. And we're just going to launch it off and see what the reception is, see what voices we can hear, what things people are talking about. But we're really excited. It's a big opportunity. It's a nationwide opportunity for us to get to markets where we don't normally get to go, maybe smaller markets, but between the contact list that Aramco already has for existing customers and ours, we feel like it's a great marriage to be able to get both parties, both groups, both lists together and provide. The theme of the overall education series that we're probably going to be on this year, probably a little bit on into next, is a lot of what we already coach at Restoration Advisors, and it's called Modern Restoration. We're really big on reminding everyone, not only just reminding with words, but with education and providing resources. Our industry partially is still stuck in the way we used to do it. Some of the last generation of the way things worked. The very first component of that we're kicking off these classes and probably tour the country with our first round is our very, very, very successful and popular customer onboarding. And that is the ability to set expectations with your customer, explain, verbalize, and provide a great visible and verbal, tangible expectation track for them on what this is going to be like, which is how loud this is going to be, how long it's going to take, what it's going to be like, and what we're going to have to do with this, and whether it's mitigation into reconstruction. But more importantly is set up some expectations with pricing. I'm going to be showing people how to price a job up front to give them a general rough estimate, not the final number, so don't stress there. The timeline set a bunch of things, asking the customers what they're most concerned about, what's most important to them, setting up communication cadence with a project manager. How do you like to be communicated with? How often can I communicate with you? What do we talk about during those times? You're trying to win the trust of your customer because we're going to charge X. These are my rates. These are my terms and conditions. This is when I need to be paid by. We're going to start a contract, not a work authorization. And you kind of are, this is not going to be a course that's anti-insurance, but you're definitely expressing to your customer that the insurance is going to do what they do. They're going to pay slow. They're going to try to pay less. I can't really help all of that, but what I can do is document this job. I can do it the right way under the standards, following OSHA law, EPA, and I'm going to give you the documentation, but you're also what they're going to get from you is your experience. You're going to empower the customer to remember that they are in charge of their own claim, if it's a claim or insurance claim. They are in charge and they get to hold the insurance accountable for the promise they made. And that includes timeline, completion, limits, whatever. We don't read the policy, but if you have more than enough policy limits, there should not be any arguments over what's fair and reasonable. And we're going to talk about that. So that's the first class: Dallas, Houston, Austin, and Phoenix. One day shop. It's not going to teach you everything. It's going to start the ball. It's going to teach you enough to grasp it and probably implement a whole lot of things. And we're going to have some options if you would like for us on a low key level to help you implement it and get everybody on your team where it's just like it's standard. We're going to have some guests in our classes around the country. Some of our current clients and students that have implemented it and are seeing substantial substantial improvements. One person's going to actually be there that he's at an average of 14 days of collections from date of invoice, day or the day after picking up the equipment or cleaning, getting a COC signed. Unique case, but we're seeing a whole lot of 18 to 25 days, a whole lot, just by simply stating what they, the customer is putting pressure on their insurance and demanding what they expect to be fair. So I'm going to put the link down for that. If you want to join us, it's a 1-day class. It's $99. It's really, really affordable. I am wanting to make this information readily available to as many people as we can, just enough to pay our travel to get to wherever these classes are. Just pay the bills and give me enough money to feed y'all for lunch. So if one of those first classes are there on the link, if your city is not one of those classes, you can fill out the form on where you are, and I will match that up. And we've already gotten 40 or 50 of those. I think the classes are getting close to sold out, especially Dallas. Dallas is filling up quick. Houston and Austin about equal, but we've just got a few weeks left, and it's going to probably sell out quick in the last week. But wherever you are, Omaha, Massachusetts, Seattle, letting us know, lets us take that information back to Ramsco and make arrangements for where we go next, where the desire is, where the requests are, and stuff like that. So that's really cool. We're looking to expand beyond that and go nationwide, as well as start to bring other of our key things we teach, which are all of them are modern restoration, and all of them are to build a great scalable restoration company. We do not teach you to dry and to clean a fire or how to mold remediate. Do we know how? Sure. Do we want to have a conversation around that? We can. Absolutely. But our thing is if you are a business owner or in leadership, you need to know how to build the right company and what was working for a lot of people in this space. Sometimes people just aren't pricing their jobs the right way. We can help with that. Lots of different things there. Really excited about that. The last thing that I'd like to share with you that's going on in the Restoration Advisors world, and phenomenal launch about 2 years ago. I wrote my first book. It was 41 Markers. 41 Markers is just a book. It's a real easy read. You can see here, 100 pages or so. Just about having a business mindset and really just placing, we're going to do things our way, not to be so inflexible, but this is full of our 41 markers, which are our navigational beacons, our core principles. They are my life, my personal and my professional viewpoints on how we do business, how we treat others, what's important to us, what we do less of so that we can do more of other things and those kind of things. So it's really just 41 individual little markers. Been really great, fun to write. I've had it published on my website for a couple of years, and someone that works for me said, "Why we end up repeating these so much?" And people see them on our website and they tell us which ones they love. Like one of them is, we don't have FOMO. And I'm shortening, is FOMO is fear of missing out. We have JOMO, joy of missing out. We focus on what's important, not the media, not the news, not whatever somebody else. I don't even care what the insurance companies and their newest tricks are. We're going to do things our way, because we can help more people by having fluid, efficient projects. So that's just one of them. And again, some of them are personal, some of them are life, but they just mix together. And then, of course, I've built my company and hired my team that they're all aligned the same way, and they generally agree with all of them and have some of their own. So it's really cool. So beyond that book, that was the first one. And I'm going to tell you why I'm writing books. I mean, did I ever think I'd be an author? East Texas guy? No. But the books are, let's see, the first one. This is not all of them. Right now I have 4, including the other one in front of me, but they're all in a series, and it's called the 8% Restopreneur. 8% is the top 8% of our industry. That is the creme de la creme, people that try, not necessarily largest or biggest or fanciest or best branding, those that check all the boxes, that follow the standards, treat their people well, contribute back to their community, have a pretty good plan on how to build a business, aren't completely struggling from cash flow by being on programs and TPAs. I think TPAs are very harmful to our industry in general. Some people make it. So the series of the 8% are books, again, none of them really large. I probably could not write a several 100-page book, but The Fork in the Road these are fables. These are fictional characters, several of them, several fictional characters in this book for sure, that are restorers or adjacent or in our industry that are going through the kinds of challenges that our industry goes through. So Jack Carter owns a restoration company, and he's had his company for 5 years. He's come to a fork in the road. Is why do some people that started at the same time are having great success, and I'm still going to every job, and I'm still writing Xactimates and things like that. So, and then he meets someone, another restoration guy, that introduces him to someone else, and they go on a journey. And he decides to try to build differently against all of the things inside of him that make that very difficult, which we all share. And he turns it around, and he has a vacation. So it's a vacation with his family, buys back some of his time in life, but he also builds a business that he loves and he's proud of again, as opposed to kind of hated it. So that was the first book. Several hundred copies have sold. That might not sound like a lot, but for a self-published person, it is. I'm not selling these big time to the mass world, it's to our industry. So we have a couple more. This one is about an ops manager. So this is very relative to an operations or a mitigation manager, possibly. This is about Carly. It's a female, very organized person who likes to take things out of the owner's crazy, chaotic brain and build a really functional operational company, and then she transforms a company. So I think it's really relatable to not only all of our females and all of our operations managers, but also to owners that might be saying, what would I do with an operations manager? Why would I need that? There might be something in that book that opens up your eyes about that. Anyway, a couple other books. The books are, I'm going to end up having about 12 or 14. Some of them are going to be series inside of the series. Some of them are different positions. I've got one for business development of someone who says, I'm tired of paying plumbers $1,000 to $1,500. We're going to find a better way. We're going to market in a way that people request us and want to see us coming, that actually like to talk about us in public. There's going to be, there's another one out about technician. It's already out. What a true technician is. It's on our website. A couple about leadership. And then in the future, we're going to have some really cool surprise ones that I think our industry is going to love. All that said, it takes a lot of time to write a book organically, not using AI, and to really dig into the perspective of making it to where people can relate to it. And that has been the feedback I got. I don't know about you, but when I do something, create something, build something, and I get, I've gotten some negative. I've got some people who said, who do you think you are? So I ignore those. But some people have said, I feel like you wrote this book about me. I felt like I was in that book. That just encourages me. That inspires me to say, you're on the right track. Keep going. And so I do. The proceeds from these books are going to our nonprofit group. So it's a great full circle. I'm having the time of my life. I hope I'm improving some people's businesses and careers and viewpoints and mindsets and their burnout levels. And then it gets to do some good for people that we serve all the time that could never pay us back. So those are some of the things that we're up to this year. We've got some other service offerings as we tour the country with the Rams Co. We're probably going to meet a lot more people than we normally do. How do we provide great service, immersive? How do we help people without getting really watered down? So that's something, a challenge we're trying to work on. And I can't wait to discuss it with people. We're not going to take people on just to get a few revenue dollars on the P&L. We're going to only, like we always have, we're going to coach people that will talk about us in a group that we're not in. When they see other people asking about a coach or a consultant, or asking how to learn something, or just curious, just seeing people struggling, they might say, you know what, I was struggling too. And you might not have ever thought about having a coach. You might have thought you didn't need one. But we are coaches. We are like a coach on a football, baseball, basketball team that wants to see people maximize their potential so that they feel incredible and can become better humans. And then they can ultimately coach other people. Lots of our clients, not lots, many of our clients have sold their businesses, have finished out their 2 years with the company and have moved on to become consultants because they enjoyed the experience so much that they saw a little bit of themselves and everybody else, and they would like to help other people. I love it. That's a legacy for me, is to see people. John Maxwell says that people that can create a leader, leaders that create leaders that can create another leader, is pretty powerful. So are we doing that? Maybe, but I think we're starting to give this industry permission to not let anyone else, the insurance, anyone, any industry group or anything, no one else can design your business. No one else can build. You should not build their castle. Build your castle. Grow your business, make more money, make more profit, so that you can help more people, so that you can actually scale in your market as opposed to shrink and then leave all of your neighbors and community up to the less than quality contractors that just happen to market really well and buy leads on Google, but they're not very good. We don't want that. We won't let that happen on our watch. You wouldn't. I didn't when I had my company. So that's what we're up to. If you watch this long, I appreciate it. I would just like to say hello. We're looking forward to 2026 to get to know a lot more people, create a bigger tribe, and just try to fill in where we can. Putting all the links in the bottom about the classes coming up, my email, if you just want to just give a shout out, ask me a question. We always will jump on the phone with anyone that needs to. Links to the books, and follow along as you see a little bit of what right now it's just me, but in the future I would say some other pieces of parts of our team and some other industry colleagues are going to start deploying on missions with me for helping in disaster zones, but without being a restoration company, with being a human that knows how to overcome a disaster. We know what they should be doing next. We know what they should be doing for their home if they have it from a fire, flood, and we also can help them not pick the wrong people that are coming in taking advantage during these storm events. So very fulfilling. I've built my business my whole life to do this. So I'm very, very proud of it. And I love sharing it with other people because it restores faith in what we do for me and other people. So they start asking, how can we do that? I'm trying to figure that out. So if you say we can, we can. So anyway, thanks everyone. If you have any questions, give us a shout. Restoration Advisors. Take care.